Exam practice is something that you should be doing for all of your subjects, regardless of whether it's essay-based or merely numerical. Practice makes permanent. It's important that you're doing this as a part of your revision to really help you apply what you know in exam conditions. So here are some ways to effectively do exam practice. First off, know what exam board you are doing for each subject so you actually do the right past papers. If you don't know, ask your teachers. An example of an exam board is AQA. I just wanted to clarify that first. My first piece of advice is to do exam papers in less time than you actually have in the exam. This is great, especially if time management is a problem for you in the exam. So, for example, an average maths paper is 1 hour and 30 minutes. When you are doing a practice past paper, try and do it in 1 hour and 15 minutes and keep on doing that. Then you'll become so used to that time constraint that in the actual exam, you'll always have an extra 15 minutes to spare to check your answers and be less stressed. If it's hard for you to work for long periods of time, why don't you break down the questions in a paper and do them for a set period of time? For example, if you're doing an English language paper, why don't you attempt the first question in 4 minutes and the second question in 8 minutes? This method may seem less overwhelming for you when you have to do exam practice and help you to focus more. Do as many past papers as possible. It doesn't hurt to redo past papers if you've already done it. It's still a form of practice and you should be getting progressively better every time you do another past paper. Once you have done all the past papers for your exam board, you can also do past papers from other exam boards. Exam boards cover pretty similar content, so you should still be able to answer some of the exam questions from there. In terms of resources to use, I 100% recommend using Physics and Maths Tutor, Save My Exams, Revisely, Maths Genie, the Gcse Maths Tutor, and there is definitely way more. For essay-based subjects, I would say make essay plans instead of writing the whole essay out. Your essay plan is essentially what you would write out in the exam, so it's okay to do this. What would your points be for a specific question? If you find it difficult to come up with a solid, coherent plan for that question, it suggests you have a lack of knowledge of that topic linking to that question, which, in that case, you would need to go over it again. Now, this next tip is so underrated. It's to focus on command words in the questions. I suggest familiarizing yourself with what each word means. So when you get a question in the exam with that specific command word, you know exactly what the question is asking you to write. Many times, people lose marks in the exam because they're not writing what the mark scheme, aka the answers, want from you. If you are able to recognize the command words correctly, then you are less likely to lose marks. You can also try this for specific type of question you know will come up for your subject. For example, in sociology, you might want to practice 12-mark questions because you know you're weak at answering them. Now, learning from your mistakes is equally as important as actually attempting exam questions. How can you improve if you don't know where you went wrong? I suggest creating a bank of questions in Google Document with questions you got wrong on a particular subject, with the answers beside it. Make sure you are able to figure out why you got it wrong, what was the source of error, if it was a silly mistake, lack of understanding, didn't understand what the question was asking me to do. Once you have got it, reattempt the question at a later period to see if you truly understand what you have been taught. If not, it remains back in the bank of questions for it to be reattempted. If you don't know how to do it, or you don't know where you went wrong, go through it with a teacher, ask a friend, or go on YouTube to help you understand.